Hello guys, welcome to our last lecture sa MS-102 or Quantitative Methods. So ito yung last na topic natin bago tayo mag-proceed sa finals. Okay? So Module 2, Unit 4, Statistical Tools 4 is the concept of probability. We are not going to dwell deep, we're not going to explore the deep levels of probability kasi hindi rin naman natin siya magagamit. Kaya for this module or for this lecture, papahapyawan lang natin siya ng saglit. Okay? So, let us first define what probability is. So, I think na-encounter nyo naman na yung probability at some point since high school or elementary pa nga. So, probability is a concept that most people understand naturally since such words are as chance, likelihood, possibility, and proportion are used as part of everyday speech. Okay, so madalas na siyang gamitin na word pero baka hindi lang kayo aware that the word chance, likelihood, and possibility are all expressions of probability. I think nakapag lahat naman na kayo nakapunta ng peryahan, yung color game is a game of probability. Okay? Wherein your chances of winning is, for example, sa isang block, ang chance nyo na mananalo ay 1/6 kung isang color lang yung tatayaan nyo. And if you are going to bet on two colors, ang chance nyo ay 2 out of 6 or 1/3. So, even sa peryahan, ginagamit na tong probability. Okay? For example, most of the following, so ito yung mga example ng mga words na kadalasang ginagamit, for example, sa business situation. So, letter A, there is a 30% chance that this job that will not be finished in time. So, probably, binase nila ito sa mga previous na jobs, no? At nalaman nila na 3 out of 10 ng mga previous na jobs ay hindi matapos. That's why they made a conclusion that there's a 30% chance na hindi daw matatapos yung trabaho on time. Letter B, there's a every likelihood that the business will make a profit next year. There's every likelihood that the business will make a profit next year. Okay, so baka dito, nalaman nila na at some point in time, at some quarter, na profitable na yung business nila. Kaya they are very certain that next year, okay, kikita sila or there will be a profit. Yun po yung ibig sabihin ng there is every likelihood. Ibig sabihin 100% certain kikita sila next year. Letter C, 9 times out of 10, he arrives late for his appointment. Siguro itong conclusion na to was made out of the previous times na pumasok siya. So 9 times out of 10 daw siya ay late. So siya ay hindi pumapasok on time. Okay? So each possible type of occurrence is referred to as an event. Okay? And then the collection of all the possible events is called the sample space. Okay? If for example, we were to throw a coin, meron tayong coin, di ba? Dalawa lang ang possible na outcome niyan. We have the set, we have H or yung heads at meron tayong tails. Okay? So yung sample space natin is the set that contains head or tails kung tayo ay nagtotoss coin. If we were to throw a dice, ang sample space natin ay, it would look something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay? And then each element or each member or each element of the set, the sample space is called an event. Okay? So ito ay definition lang naman. So a compound or joint event is an event that has two or more characteristics. So for example, sabay tayong magtotos ng coin at sabay tayong magtotos ng dice. Ano yung probability na ang makukuha mo ay heads and then meron tayong 2. Okay, so this is an example of a joint event or compound event. Kung mag-throw ka ng dice at saka ng coin, makakakuha ka ng heads and then makakuha ka ng number 2. Okay, another example of a joint event is the black ace. If we were to draw out of a deck of 52 cards, alam natin meron tayong 52 cards, tama? 4 suits. Yung 4 suits natin ay spade, clover, heart, and diamond. So, automatically, we will get a 1/4 chance na spade siya. Okay? Ano naman yung probability na siya ay isang ace? Iba rin yun. Kasi sa isang deck, meron lang tayong 4 na ace. So, meron tayong 4 out of 52 chances. And then we'll take a look at the probability that it is a black card. Kasi nga, black ace siya. Ano yung probability na siya ay black? Okay, so meron tayong dalawang black na groups, yung clover at saka yung ace. So again, 50-50 chance. So this is considered a compound event since kailangan niya maging black at kailangan din niya maging ace. Okay, actually, kasama din dito yung clover, yung ace na clover. Kasi siya ay black din at siya rin ay ace. Okay, so again, kasama siya dito. Okay, in a statistical sense, probability simply puts a well-defined structure around the concept of everyday probability, enabling a logical approach to problem solving to be followed. So again, since this subject is quantitative methods, gusto natin ginagawang numerical yung mga bagay-bagay, even the probability. So, syempre hindi ka naman tataya sa isang business or sa isang sugal na mas malaki yung tsansa na malulugi ka. Okay? There are basically two separate ways of calculating probability. Meron tayong dalawang paraan ng pag-compute ng probability. The first one is theoretical probability. Pag sinabing theoretical probability, i-implement natin yung mga current laws involving sa probability. So, dito medyo abstract siya. For example, mag-throw tayo ng heads and tails. Alam natin na through theoretical probability, ang tsansa na heads ay 1/2 and then ang tsansa din na tails ay 1/2. Okay? Pero sa empirical probability dun sa next type, hindi necessarily 1/2 ang makukuha natin. Kung gagawa kayo ng simulation sa isang computer, pwede kayong gumawa ng code. Ginawa namin to nung high school kami. Magra-run ka ng code na either heads or tails, tapos iraran mo siya for 1,000. Ilulup mo siya 1,000 times and makikita nyo na hindi siya, every simulation, hindi siya magsasabi na 50-50. Sometimes it will be 0.49 and then sometimes it will be 0.4, 0.6, ganun. Hindi siya necessarily 0.5, 0.5. Okay, yun yung empirical probability. Pag theoretical, ini-imply lang natin or ginagamit lang natin yung mga what is obvious. Pagdating sa empirical, gumagawa tayo ng experiment. Okay? Or niraran natin yung simulation multiple times. Yun po yung pinagkaiba ng theoretical at saka ng empirical. Okay? So, punta tayo muna sa theoretical probability. If we let E be the set or an event of an experiment that has an equally likely outcome set U, okay, then the theoretical probability event E occurring when the experiment is written as PR of E. So, this is read as the probability of E. Notation lang siya, no? Okay? The probability of E is equal to the number of different ways that the event can occur all over the number of different possible outcomes. Okay? So, N of E is equal to N of U or divided by N of U. Okay? Okay, for example, an ordinary 6-sided die is to be rolled. The equally likely outcome set U is, ano yung mga laman ng set U natin? Pwedeng 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the event that even number has the event set, ang laman ng set containing the even numbers is 2, 4, and 6. What we want to find out is, base sa theoretical probability, ano daw yung chance na makakakuha tayo ng isang even number. So, the solution is as follows. The probability of even number is equal to the number of even numbers from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 2, 4, and 6, divided by the number of elements, the possible outcomes, which is 1 to 6. So, we have 3 all over 6. The probability is 0.5. Dito po yun sa theoretical probability. Pagdating sa empirical probability, we will do the experiment as many times as possible and titignan natin kung ilan yung lalabas na odd at saka yung lalabas na even divided by the total number of die toss. Okay? How about empirical probability or yung ating relative frequency probability? If E is some event in an experiment that has been performed a number of times, yielding a frequency distribution of events or outcomes, then the empirical probability of event E occurring when the experiment is performed one more time is given by the following. Okay? So, probability of E, so ito ay empirical is equal to F of E all over F. Kung saan si F of E ay kung ilan yung frequency na nangyari si E, at saka F is ilan yung frequency ng ating examination. Okay, for example, kukuha tayo ng, ayun na, magtotos tayo ng dice 100 times. And dun sa 100 tosses na yun, nalaman natin na 49 lang yung head. So, yung probability na makakakuha ka ng heads ay equal kay 49 all over 100, which is equal to 4.9. Or sorry, 0.49. Okay, so yan lang yung chance na magkakaroon ka ng heads. Yun ay pagdating sa empirical probability. Pero pagdating sa theoretical, alam natin na ito ay 0.05. So, ang empirical ay nag-differ siya sa theoretical kasi empirical is ginagawa mo siya actually or nag-experiment ka talaga. Okay? Alright. Okay, so put differently, another definition lang to. The empirical probability of an event E is simply the proportion of times that the event actually occurred when the experiment was performed. Okay? We have here an example. For example, if out of 60 orders received so far this financial year, 12 were not completely satisfied. So, ito ay empirical. So, sa 60 orders, 12 yung hindi satisfied, which gives us a probability of, or a proportion of 12 divided by 60, which is equal to 0.2. So, what does this mean? That there is a 20% chance, empirically, na yung order na susunod ay hindi magiging satisfied or hindi siya magiging satisfactory. Okay, empirical siya kasi binase siya sa mga previous na examples. Okay? Yeah. Okay, so that's it for the two types of probability, theoretical and empirical. Right now, we're going to discuss several laws of probability. Basically, 4 lang naman to. Okay? We have the addition law for mutually exclusive events, the addition law for events that are not mutually exclusive, multiplication law for independent and dependent events. Okay? So now let's proceed to the first law. Addition law for mutually exclusive events is given as the following. So i-define muna natin ano ba yung mutually exclusive events. Two events are said to be mutually exclusive events if they cannot occur at the same time. Okay? An example ng isang mutually exclusive event ay yung pag magtotos ka ng coin. Magbabato ka ng barya, tao or ibon lang siya. Hindi pwedeng sabay na tao at ibon. That's why yung event na makakakuha ka ng tao at yung event na makakakuha ka ng ibon ay mutually exclusive events. Okay? The addition law states that if A and B are mutually exclusive, then ganito lang siya mag-compute ng probability. So, kung magko-compute tayo ng probability sa coin ng heads or tails, equal lang siya sa probability of heads plus probability of tails, which is equal to 0.5 plus 0.5, which is equal to 1. Okay? Kasi mutually exclusive events sila. Okay? Alright. Ganon din sa tossing a die. Hindi tayo pwedeng magkaroon ng result ng 2 or more numbers. Tama. When tossing a die, isa lang dapat yung face na nakaharap. Kaya naman yung probability of getting a 1 or a 2 is just equal to 1/6 plus 1/6, which is equal to 2/6 or 1/3. So, yun yung addition law for mutually exclusive events. Next one is the multiplication law for independent events. This law states that if A and B are independent events, then the probability of A and B is equal to probability of A and multiplied by the probability of B. Okay? Pag sinabi nating independent events, pwede silang mangyari at the same time. For example, pwede kang makakuha ng head sa isang toss coin as well as makakuha ka ng number 2 sa isang die toss. Pwede siyang sabay mangyari. Okay, hindi tulad nung una na pag meron kang heads, hindi ka na pwedeng magkaroon ng tails ulit na sabay siyang nangyayari. Kasi sila ay dependent events. Dito, independent na yung ating tinutukoy. Hindi related yung toss coin sa kakalabasan ni die toss. Okay? If that happens, kailangan lang natin pag-multiplyin yung dalawang probability. Okay? For example, ito. What is the probability? Okay? If we have the following. We have a spin the wheel. So, 4 yung possible na outcomes niya. A, B, C, D. At saka, we have here a 6-sided die. Okay? We have here a question. An experiment consists of rolling the die and then spinning the spinner. How many different outcomes are possible? So, marami tayong possible na outcomes. So, example, we have A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6. And then B1, B2 hanggang kay B6, C1 hanggang kay C6, D1 hanggang kay D6. So, all in all, we have 4 times 6 outcomes, which is 24 outcomes. So, the answer here is 24. Number 2, what will be the probability that the outcome will be 3C? Again, dun sa diniscuss natin kanina, since the probability of independent naman na sila, 3, and the probability of C is just equal to probability of 3 times the probability of C. Ano ba yung probability of 3? 1/6 multiplied by the probability of C is 1/4. We will get 1 all over. What is 6 times 4? 24. Okay. There's a 1 in 24 chances that it will be a 3C. Okay? Next, another example. Suppose in any given week that the probability of an assembly line failing is 0.3 and the probability of raw material shortage is 0.1. Again, these are independent events. Pwede kang mawalan ng assembly line or pwedeng mag-fail yung assembly line mo and then at the same time, magkaroon ka ng raw material shortage. So, ang tanong, ano yung probability na mangyayari siya pareho? Assembly line failing and raw material shortage. The following is the solution. Okay, since independent event siya, 0.03 lang times 0.1, we get 0.003. Okay, yun yung independent events. How about dependent events? This law states that if A and B are dependent events, then we have the following formula. The probability of A and B is equal to the probability of A times the probability of B given A. Probability of B given A. Yun po ang basa dito. Okay? Note that PRB of A is interpreted as the probability of B given that the event A has occurred. So, dito ang assumption natin si A na ay nangyari. Ano ngayon yung probability ni B? Okay? Let's look at this example para mas madali siyang intindihin. A display of 15 t-shirts in a sports shop contains 3 sizes. Meron tayong small, medium, and large. Meron tayong 3 small, 6 na medium, at saka 6 na large. If 2 t-shirts, so pipili tayo ng 2 t-shirts, are randomly selected, ano daw yung tsansa na makakakuha tayo ng both a small t-shirt and a large t-shirt? The first not being replaced before the second is selected. Okay? Ano daw yung tsansa na makakakuha tayo ng both a small and then a large t-shirt? Let's look at the solution. Since the first t-shirt is not replaced before the second t-shirt, the 2 events are said to be dependent events. Hindi naman siya pinalitan. So, mababawasan yung, for example, yung universal set natin kasi namili muna tayo ng unang t-shirt bago tayo nag-draw nung pangalawa. It follows that the probability of small t-shirt and large t-shirt is as following. So, kung babalikan natin, ilan na nga yung small na nakuha natin? The probability of a small is what? There are 3 small, 6 medium, and then 6 large. So, kung babalikan natin, we have the probability of small is equal to 3 out of 15. And then next, the probability of large given small. So dito, inassume na niya na yung nakuha ay small. Ano yung makakakuha ka ng large? So kanina, pinakita sa atin na meron tayong 15 t-shirts, 15 t-shirts. So 6 are large at ang nakuha natin nung una ay small na. So I think this is supposed to be 6. So 6 over 14 yan. So pag kinalculate natin, we have 0.2 divided by multiplied by 0.429. Yan yung makukuha natin na probability. Ito ay 6 over 14, hindi 4 over 14. I think typo lang yan. Okay? Another example. In his pocket, Gomer has 3 red, 5 orange, and 2 blue M&Ms. If he randomly chooses 2 M&Ms, what is the probability that both will be red? Okay? You can try this at home, pero itry natin dito. Ano ang problem natin? If he randomly chooses 2 M&Ms, what is the probability that both will be red? So, ang hinahanap natin ay probability of R, red and red, is equal to the probability of R muna. Ano yung probability of R? Multiplied by the probability of R, given red na rin yung nakuha natin. Okay, magiging ganito siya. So, dun muna tayo sa P of R. Originally, we have 3 red, 5 orange, and 2 blue M&Ms. So, meron tayong 10 total M&Ms. So, 3, 5, 2. So, the answer for P of R is equal to 3 out of 10. Now, pag nabawasan na siya ng isa, since yung una nating nakuha ay red na, dito, magiging 2 na lang ito. So, yung total number natin ay magiging 9. So, the probability of R given R will be equal to 2 all over 9. So, this is equal to 6 all over 90. Okay? Pwede nyo itong i-reduce to lowest terms if you want to. Okay? I think this is equal to 1 all over 15 ata. Yes. Okay. Next. The last type of probability na i-discuss natin ay si conditional probability. Dito meron tayong condition set before we do the calculation. Okay? So, pag-isipan muna natin. Suppose there are 200 men. Sa 200 na lalaki, 100 ang nagsisigarilyo. And then 100 women kung saan 20 ang nagsisigarilyo. Ano ang probability na kung pipili tayo ng isang tao at random, siya ay magiging maninigarilyo? So, kung ito-total natin, 200 men plus 100 na women, that is 300 people. At ilan sa kanila yung nagsisigarilyo? Sa lalaki, 100. Sa babae, 20. So, meron tayong 120 over 300, which is equal to what? If we reduce it to lowest terms, we get 12 over 30 or 6 all over 15. Okay, there's a 6 all over 15 chance na yung mapipili natin na random na tao ay smoker. Now, what if we have a question? What is the probability that a person chosen at random is a smoker given that the person is a woman? Madali lang tong sagutin kasi makikita natin, i-eliminate na natin yung mga men immediately. So, masasabi natin agad na 20 over 100 yung probability. And it is correct. But we are jumping into a solution that is obvious. Pero ang titignan natin dito, paano ba siya nakuha in terms of conditional probability formula. Okay? Ganito kasi yung nangyari sa atin. The number of women smokers is equal to the number of women. Equal lang daw siya sa ganito, the number of women smokers all over 300 all over the number of women divided by 300 also. Ganito yung nangyari, nag-cancel yung 300. Ang titignan natin tong formula na to. Ano bang ibig sabihin nito? The number of women smokers divided by 300 is the number of women na nagkataon na maninigarilyo din lang. Okay? Para siyang intersection ng the set of women and then the set of smokers. Ganun din sa baba. Sa baba naman, we have the set of women divided by 300. So, yung proportion na to, actually, is the, is the probability that a person chosen at random is a woman and a smoker. Woman and a smoker divided by the probability that a person chosen at random is a woman. So, ito actually basically yung formula ng conditional probability. But before that, i-define muna natin, magbigay muna tayo ng definition. Assuming two events, so suppose meron tayong events E at saka si event F. The probability of event E given that F has occurred is referred to as the conditional probability of E. Okay? Or is denoted by the following. The probability of E given F is equal to the probability of E intersection F divided by the probability of F. Yan yung formula. So, pakitake note. Bigay tayo ng example. Suppose you roll 2 dice. What is the probability? The sum is 8. Madali lang to. Pwede nating i-list siya. So, actually, listing method is the easiest way. Kaso, maliban na lang kung meron tayong sobrang dami na events. There are 5 ways this can happen. Pwede tayong 2, 6, 3, 5, 4, 4, 5, 3, and 6, 2. Lahat yan, ang sum niya ay 8. Okay? So, the probability is 5 all over 36. Again, let us call this event A. Meron tayong follow-up question. What is the probability that the sum is 8 given that the first die is 3? Ngayon, meron tayong initial condition na yung first die na tinos natin ay 3. So, papasok tayo sa conditional probability. So, let B be the event that the first die shows a 3. So, dito mas madali kasi pag pinuput into context natin, nagle-let tayo ng mga letters. Pero sana wag kayong malito. Then, P of A intersection B is the probability that the first die is 3 and the sum is 8. Okay, ano ba yung probability that the sum is, that the first die is 3 and the sum is 8? So, meron lang tayong set dyan na 3, 8. Again, we know, since dalawang dice toss siya, meron tayong 36 probability. So, this is only one event all over 36. So, the probability of A intersection B is equal to 1 all over 36. Okay? Okay. Now, so answer the question, kailangan muna natin yung probability of B. Again, the probability of B is equal to 1/6. Ano na nga ulit si B? Okay. Let B be the event that the first die is 3. Okay. Ano yung probability na makakakuha tayo ng 3 sa first toss? Again, madali lang siya, 1/6. So, since alam na natin yung values, pwede na natin siyang i-plug in. So, again, ito si probability of A intersection B. Sorry. Ito si P of A intersection B divided by the probability of B. Yan yung formula ng conditional probability natin. Doing this, simplifying, we get 1/6. Okay, so the probability that the sum of the dice is 8 given that the first die is 3 is equal to 1/6. Okay? Next, suppose we have a box of 3 marbles, 2 black marbles. We select 2 marbles. Meron tayong isang box, 3 yung laman na pulang, pollen, 2 black. Bubunot tayo ng 2 at random. What is the probability that the second marble is red given that the first one is red? So again, parehong red. Tignan natin. Let A be the event, the second marble is red, and B be the event that the first one is red. So, taking a look at the first one, so yung P of B, madali lang. Yung first marble natin, 3 yung pula, 2 yung black. Meron tayong 3 out of 5. And then, kung titignan natin yung intersection, the probability of A intersection B is the probability that both are red, or is the probability that we chose 2 red out of 3 and 0 black out of 2. Similar lang naman yan. If we take a look at the solution, magkakaroon tayo ng the following. So, we have the probability of 3 over 10. So, ito yung, ulit to? P of A intersection B. Ito naman si P of B, which is equal to 3/5. So, simplifying, we get 1/2. Okay? Ganun lang siya kadali mag-solve. Yes. Okay, so I think that's it for the example of conditional probability. So, magsesend na rin ako ng Google forms for your quiz and your assessment. So, that's it for our midterm lecture. So, thank you very much for listening.